How to Find Happiness. Story of a woman. In the quaint village of Serenity, nestled amidst rolling hills and lush greenery, lived a woman named Amara. Her name meant eternal, but Amara often felt anything but enduring. She carried the weight of her struggles on her shoulders, and though she longed for happiness, it always seemed just out of reach. Amara's life had been a series of challenges. Her parents had passed away when she was young, leaving her to fend for herself. She had grown up working tirelessly, taking odd jobs to survive. Though her hard work brought her modest stability, her heart yearned for something deeper, an enduring sense of joy and fulfillment. One day, after a particularly long day at work, Amara sat by the riverbank. She stared at the water, its surface shimmering under the golden light of the setting sun. She whispered to herself, "What is happiness, and where can I find it?" An old woman, draped in a shawl as weathered as the ancient oak trees surrounding the village, overheard Amara's words. She approached her with a kind smile and a mysterious air. "My dear, you seek happiness?" the woman asked. Startled, Amara nodded. "Yes, but I don't know where to find it. I've worked hard, helped others, and tried to be content, but happiness eludes me." The old woman chuckled softly. "Happiness is not something you find. It is something you create. But since you are searching, I will give you a task. Visit 3 people in this village and learn their stories. Return to me with what you have learned." Curious and eager, Amara accepted the challenge. She decided to begin her quest the very next morning. Amara's first visit was to the home of a farmer named Elias. His fields were vast, but the crops looked withered under the harsh sun. Despite his struggles, Elias greeted her warmly and invited her in. As they shared a simple meal of bread and soup, Elias shared his story. "This land has been in my family for generations," he said. "But the past few years have been hard. Droughts and pests have ruined my harvests. There are days I feel like giving up." Amara, feeling a pang of sympathy, asked, "Then what keeps you going?" Elias smiled faintly. "My family. My wife and children rely on me. And even when the fields are barren, their laughter fills our home with life. It's in their smiles that I find my strength." Amara left the farmer's home, her heart heavy yet hopeful. She realized that even in hardship, love and family could bring a semblance of joy. Next, Amara visited Lena, a merchant known for her vibrant shop filled with handmade crafts and trinkets. The shop was bustling, but Lena took a moment to talk to Amara. Lena's story was one of resilience. "When I was younger, I lost everything in a fire. My home, my savings, my dreams. I thought my life was over," she said, her voice tinged with emotion. "But look at you now," Amara remarked, gesturing to the bustling shop. Lena smiled. "Yes, I rebuilt my life. But do you know what truly changed me? It wasn't the shop or the success. It was the kindness of strangers. People who barely knew me offered me help, shelter, and hope. Now I make it a point to pay it forward. Every trinket sold here supports someone in need." Amara was struck by Lena's compassion. She saw how giving to others could create a ripple effect of happiness, not just for the receiver but also for the giver. For her final visit, Amara sought out Silas, a reclusive poet who lived at the edge of the village. His home was modest, filled with books and the scent of ink and parchment. Silas welcomed Amara with quiet grace. "What brings you to my door?" he asked. "I'm searching for happiness," Amara replied, explaining her task. Silas chuckled. Ah, happiness. A fleeting muse, yet always present if you know where to look. He shared his story, speaking of how he had once sought recognition and fame for his poetry. I thought that if the world applauded me, I would be happy. But even as my work gained acclaim, I felt empty. Amara leaned forward, intrigued. What changed? Silas gestured to the view outside his window. A serene landscape of trees and sky. I realized that happiness isn't in the applause or the accolades. It's in the quiet moments. The rustle of leaves, the warmth of sunlight, the act of creating something for the sheer joy of it. I write now, not for the world, but for myself. Amara left Silas's home with a newfound appreciation for the simple, quiet joys of life. When Amara returned to the old woman by the river, she shared the lessons she had learned. The strength found in love and family, the joy of giving and helping others, and the peace of embracing simple pleasures. The old woman smiled. And what have you discovered about happiness? Amara paused, then replied. Happiness isn't something external. It's not in wealth or recognition. It's in the love we share, the kindness we give, and the moments we cherish. It's a choice we make every day. The old woman nodded. Exactly. Happiness is a garden within you. It grows when you water it with gratitude, compassion, and presence. Remember, it's not about avoiding hardships but finding light even in the darkest times. From that day forward, Amara began to live differently. She focused on cultivating her inner garden, finding joy in the small things. A kind word, a beautiful sunrise, or the laughter of children playing in the village square. Her life was far from perfect, but it was rich with meaning. And though the path to happiness was not always easy, Amara had learned the most important lesson. Happiness is not a destination but a journey, one that she now embraced with an open heart. And so, in the little village of Serenity, Amara found her way to happiness, not by searching for it but by creating it every day.